Hi everybody, it's Jnwynn with Scraptastic Yarns Podcast. Today is October the 23rd, and today I am actually in Mifflinburg at an embroidery class. It's been pre-recorded. I wanted to show you this. This is something quite a few years ago, my husband was the advisor for a Star Trek club at the university, and I was a member. As you can tell, that's our call number, and that is the name of our ship, the USS Steelman. And I found that while I was doing some stuff, so I thought I would show you that. Yeah, I'm a Star Trek fan. Sorry. You know, what can I say? Well, let's get right into it. I've got a few things to talk to you about. We'll start with some finished items. I have continued to work on making the towel hangers that we are making for the senior box. I have tails to weave in and buttons to sew on. But I've continued to make those, little here, little there. And that is basically the only finished item. Yeah, pretty sad. It's pitiful. No finished items. Now we're going to move into what I'm working on. This is the shawl that I have been working on, that I was telling you about, that had the where you knit 4 through the back. And it is a top-down shawl. And you get this nice little wave in here. And it's hard to see because of the dark color that it is. But it is a bit of a wavy. Yeah, that's not going to show up. When it's finished, I'm hoping to take pictures outside so it'll show up. But I just wanted to show you where I was at on this. I have gotten about that much done in this week. I knit on it here, knit on it there. You know, I'm trying to get whips finished. So I am concentrating on the knit one first. I am also concentrating on the Tunisian one for a couple of reasons. This is that Tunisian that I have been working on, and I am doing it from one side to the other. I am adding this lace in here, and there you can see that. So that actually when it is finished, the lace panels will run this way. Now, I thought I was going to bring it down to a point, but I think when I get closer to the center, that I'm actually just going to run it straight across, and the piece that will be in the center that runs straight will be the lace pattern. And I don't know if you can see this or not. This is Kim Guzman's Simple Lace. I think she calls it beginner lace, which is basically just, 3 stitches that you're making the lace out of. But when you are increasing, you'll see that these little shell patterns do not land one on top of the other. Now the lace pattern that she has, each little, this part here, this part, they are right on top of each other. That will only happen in the centerpiece where I work it to where they're stacked. Because I am adding a stitch at the end, it offsets them a little bit, and I like the way that looks. So those are the 2 main things that I'm working on right now. because I do want to get those whips done. And what I did is I just took some index cards and a bookbinder. It's what they call these at Walmart now. And I wrote the projects that I'm working on each card. And as I finish them off, they will get torn off and put somewhere else. And this is going to hang on a hook next to me on my little shelf here. I'm putting one of those commander hooks on it. And so that's what I will do with that. I determined that's going to be the easiest way. Took a page out of Kendra from Happenstance Place. You know, she makes a list daily of things that she's going to do. I'm not that ambitious. But I did notice that she has a wall where she has, she has these cards or pieces of paper where she has her projects lined up. Sorry about the nose itch. Allergies. So I just thought I would do that and use my own little system, but borrow from her on that, and I think that's going to come out nice. I think it's going to be a lot of help. I had told you earlier, yesterday on my daily, that I am using a simple composition book to show how much yarn goes out of my house, how much comes into it, and I have some things I have to add to it. Come on, it's me. The holidays are coming, and I have Christmas presents I have to make. So, I found an item I want to make for someone in the family with this sparkly red from Red Heart with Love. I need 2 skeins for that. So that's a total of 9 ounces that have come into the house. And then, of course, the Tunisian. I had 2 balls of this, and I'm thinking I'm going to need 4. I can possibly get away with 3, but I went ahead and got the 4th one because, I make a hat scarf out of that. And each one of these is 4 ounces, so that's another 8 ounces. So I have 1 pound and 1 ounce. Came into the house that way. I am gathering my scraps of yarn. And we went to AC Moore because in order to finish that shawl I told you I was knitting, I needed to get some more of the deep violet. So we went to AC Moore, got another pound of that. Now we're up to 2 pounds, 1 ounce, and nothing has gone out. And then while we were there, because I'm making twiddle muffs are one of the things I have on my list to make. They had this on sale, and it was such a pretty color orange. And it is the Nicole Stitch Studio Loopy, or Loop. And the color is Loop Orange. And it's a number 5, and it is so soft. I can't imagine what a scarf around your neck, this would be just like heavenly. It is very soft and squishy. And it is 3.5 ounces. So yeah, that's it for the yarn that's come into the house. But I do have another couple of items. One of them is, I needed some black snap. The cam snaps, I like using those on my bags. I have used metal snaps before, But with using a lot of the metal snaps, and I'm talking about the bigger, harder, like jean snaps types, I've had to use a hammer. So I decided I like using the cam snaps. They seem to work well. But the one color that I've had difficulty finding was black. And I was at Walmart and they've got black right there. So I got some of the black. While we were at AC Moore, I think I've told you in the past that I have this love for sugar skulls. They had these for $1. You know, because they're getting all that Christmas stuff in. And they're getting a lot of Christmas stuff in. Haven't even got to Halloween yet. Come on, folks. Anyway, I have a lot of fabric paints that I use because many times when you do the embroidery projects on the machine, sometimes it'll skip a stitch or skip a little area, or you'll get some of your bobbin thread that comes through, which the bobbin thread is white, and many times you can take the fabric paint and go over it and you can't see it. Yeah, cheaters. We have all kinds of ways to cheat. So I'll use my fabric paint on this to paint this little fella, and I think it'll be a great little project bag. Not like I don't know how to make any. Not like I don't have sugar skull embroidery programs. I do. So, yeah, I can do that. I'm going to have a sip. I'm still sipping on that from yesterday. Okay, folks, I'm giving you grief. That peach tea, like I said, boil my ginger slices in the water, let it steep a few minutes, add my tea, the peach tea, it's stash, and it's so good. It's just delicious. There's a bakery right outside of Mill Hall, and it is called Twin Farm Bakery. They also have a twin farm where they raise the Scottish cows. You know, the red Scottish cows with the horns. I can't think of the name of them, but they are Scottish cows. So many times we've gone out there to have a little, you know, to get some bakery items or to have lunch. They do have a lunch. It's generally a quiche or a sandwich, you know, or soup. But they often make a lot of different teas, and they had made some ginger peach tea. Now they use the green ginger tea bags, the green tea, and mix with the black tea. That's fine, but I prefer the stronger taste of the ginger by actually using the ginger slices. Let's see. I have a couple of podcasts that I have watched that are new to me, and one of them, the Dabbling Hook, had mentioned yesterday, and the woman does some wonderful amigurumi, and her name is Kaylee of the Quiet Starcraft. I hope you've already gone over to see her. She has some amazing things. She is a little more on the quiet side. Got to turn the sound up a little bit. And then there is Amanda of Trailer Park Mom Vlog. She crochets, and she likes to kind of goof around and do some silly things. But I guess she's done regular vlogs in the past, and she's coming back into it. I did enjoy her crochet, the ones that I saw with the crochet. She does a lot of other things as well, which is fine. Aren't we all a little different? We got to do different things in our lives. Now we're going to get to the Raglan Cowl, C-A-L and K-A-L, crochet along, knit along. It is going to begin November the 1st, run through December the 20th, and it is going to be hosted on the Scraptastic Yarns Podcast Facebook group and the Scraptastic Yarns Podcast group on Ravelry. There will be 4 winners, 2 from each group, and I'm working on those prizes now. And there's going to be some basic rules. You can do any kind of raglan sweater, cardigan, whatever you want to do. Each raglan is a chance to win that you do. So you can do more than one sweater if you choose to do it. That'll give you a separate chance. But it is not fair if you're doing baby raglan sweaters or toddler children raglan sweaters and someone is doing an adult. So this is the way this is going to work. For every 4 baby raglans you do, you will get 1 entry. For every 3 toddler child, you will get 1 entry. For every teen to adult, you will get 1 entry. A chance to win. I'm hoping that you'll enjoy this raglan. We're going to have some fun with it. I'm going to link some free raglan crochet patterns down below. Then I will also link there is a place called knittingfool.com that if you already know the stitch you want to use, and you can do a gauge swatch, you can put that gauge swatch in there, put your measurements in, and come up with a recipe basically for a knitting raglan sweater. But you can use it for crochet as well. It'll be a little different, like I said, because knitting, the stitches stack one on top of each other. And of course with crochet they do not. They sit kind of side by side. Is the best way that I can explain it. You'll have one row here, then the next row will be right next to it, but it won't sit directly on top of it. So you'll have to decide what kind of increases you want to do if you choose to use that program. Do you just want to increase in one spot, in those spots? Do you want to do a chain 1 in between your increase to give that small hole that a lot of people like about raglan sweaters? I love raglan sweaters. I have knit several raglan sweaters. I mean, they're pretty easy. The big thing about those is you can try it on as you go. If you find it's not fitting the way you want to, you can certainly rip it right out and, add some stitches or take away some stitches. So that is one of the bonuses of raglan that I like, is it's easier to try on as you go. I am choosing to do one that is top down. I am going to use a crochet pattern, and I am working on deciding which stitch that I want to use for it, because I want it to be a little different. I don't necessarily want it to be an open stitch, but I don't want it to be just a plain, half double crochet, or single crochet. I want to have a little bit of texture to it. I have not decided if it's going to be a top to wear, or if it is going to be a raglan cardigan type sweater. But I'm looking, picking, choosing. That's why I'm going to give you some links so you can go ahead and pick and choose. I hope there will be a few of you that join me on this adventure. I think it's going to be fun. Hopefully if we have any problems, we can talk them out and help each other through them as we go. A lot of the patterns are very straightforward. You shouldn't have any issues. Although, I will tell you, I have a friend. She has made a baby sweater last year for her grandson. But she had problems with it because she was not including the chain 3 as one of her stitches. And she was not including where she increased at each corner as stitches of themselves. So she kept telling me my numbers don't add up. So when we sat down and looked at it, her numbers were right on. I told her on this pattern she needs to write, some notes so that if she uses it again, she won't run into those same problems. She didn't do that. So this week we're going to work on those problems to hopefully get her straightened out again. But yeah, don't be afraid to write notes on your patterns. I have a pattern in a notebook over here, and it's the one that I told you about that we had created from just our measurements, how to make a sweater. And I was over there in Knitting Paradise with workshop 1, 2, 3, 4. And, I had some issues with my problem. Everybody was doing a top-down raglan, but because I didn't want my stripes to go around me, because I'm fluffy, stripes that go around a person that's fluffy tend to make them look fluffier. So I wanted them to go up and down. So I had to change the construction of my sweater, and they helped me through that, and it came out fine. Beautiful sweater. So, yeah, we can talk through problems, get them done. I'm hoping this is enough time. If you're knitting a sweater, it may not be enough time because it's technically only about 6 weeks, maybe 7 weeks. So, I would choose a crochet one because, a lot of us crochet on this podcast, some of the followers. Those of you that do not read patterns, there are plenty of Raglan YouTubes that tell you how to do a sweater that way. Bob Wilson, 1, 2, 3. She has quite a few garments that are done in a Raglan style. In fact, she does have a full sweater that is done in Raglan style. By all means, use that video tutorial to help you get through that. I'm not going to do a tutorial to teach you how to do a raglan. Like I said, I'm not a crochet professional. I just play one on YouTube. So, we can work things out. I can help you maybe manage some of those problems you're having. But as an expert, nah, that's not me. I would go to one of those professionals that's done this a lot. Bag O'Day, Bob Wilson, Kim Guzman. You get the picture. There are some people that I consider crochet experts that I would use their advice before I'd use my advice. But I do know a lot about crochet. Been crocheting over 50 years. So I do have some knowledge. It's just I won't say that I'm an expert. That's it for today's podcast. Tomorrow I will see you again, and you'll get to see me in a different outfit. Yeah, I didn't sleep in these overnight. Everybody remember to have a great day. Choose to be kind. See you again tomorrow.